What's going on behind the scenes and off the microphone at the Magic Word podcast? Hear what listeners and guests are saying that isn't on the podcast this week on The Magic Whisper.
Hello, this is Scott Wells for The Magic Whisper. I have so much to talk with you about this week, but I'm going to try to keep it short. I'm going to add something a little bit different than what we have in the past also. Let me just get to it. Here is this week's agenda, what we're going to be talking about. First of all, going to be thanking you for all of the well wishes from last week's Magic Whisper. Also talk about the Masters of Illusion. This is their 11th season. Also the world famous Magic Auction, which is going to be happening on February 22nd. And I will be coming to Blackpool. I missed out on going to Columbus Magi Fest, but I'll be coming over to the UK here shortly. The Winter Carnival Magic is coming up, and got an announcement about that as well. And we're going to be doing something a little bit different. As I said, we're going to do a trick review. We're going to be talking about Greg Rostami's Supercan. And we're going to have an audio clip from this week's Magic Word podcast with John Graham. So let's get started with the news. I want to thank all of you so much from my heart, very much. And my heart is feeling much better because of all the well wishes that I received from so many people in the community. It is such a loving group of people out there. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you for contacting me and finding out how that I'm doing. I have been feeling well, and I thank you guys very much for reaching out and saying how that you enjoyed hearing what I had to say last week, because the operation was successful. Everything went well. I'm doing better, kind of jumping around a little bit more. I've got my breath back a little bit. Not 100%, but I'm doing better than 50%. So there's a lot to be said about that. So I'm moving in the right direction and feeling well. But again, thank you guys and gals very much for your thoughts and prayers, for reaching out and for thinking of me. It means a whole lot. How do we do that? Whatever. Listen, thank you guys for that. This last Friday, we saw the premiere of Season 11 of Masters of Illusion. That's produced by Gabe Blackstone, and this marks, again, an historic time. They have been doing it for longer than that, but they have had other networks that they've been on, but they've been on the CW for a long time. If you've not had a chance to check it out, please do. They have expanded it from a half-hour to a 1-hour series, and that means more magic and a lot more magicians than you have seen perhaps before, and some of your favorites who have been coming back. And so, again, check it out. It's on the CW, and it's on Friday nights. I think it's at 7 o'clock Central Time and 8 o'clock Eastern. Anyhow, Season 11, congratulations to everyone who is involved with that. Coming up on February 22nd is going to be the Magic Auction in Austin. This will be its 50th anniversary, and in the past they have sold over $40,000 worth of stuff, big illusions to small things. And this year looks like it's going to be another knockout. Since it's going to be the 50th, they're pulling out all the stops, and this is going to be a good one. I'm confident there's going to be $10,000, $20,000 or so that'll probably exchange hands at this auction. If you are anywhere in or around Texas, you should be coming to Austin. You should be coming in for this, because there are deals to be had. There are lots of there's lots of magic to and equipment. I know I'm going to be putting in a ton of stuff. Since my move, I'm going to get rid of a lot of things. Also, Opie Houston had recently passed. You may not know him, but he was an integral part of the Austin magic community, and all of his stuff is going to be in there. And there are several other people, about 20, 25 other estates and different people who are bringing things to sell. So there'll be also a lot of great buying opportunities with some deals to be had. Again, that's going to be on February 22nd. And you can go to, I believe it's austinmagicauction.com for more information. I was planning on being an auctioneer, and I have been for many years. I was not here last year because I was in Blackpool. Well, the same thing's going on again this year. I had planned to do this, and I just mismanaged my time. I'm going to be going over to some Irish pub someplace, I'm sure, while I'm over there. But I'm going to be coming over a little bit early and having a chance to go to the West End, see a couple of plays, go to the Magic Circle, hope to see some people prior to Blackpool. And then we're going to be going over to Liverpool with our friend Paul Stone, who's going to show us the Beatles tour. And then over to Blackpool from there, going over to Manchester, catching a plane on over to Kerry. And I've got through Pat Fallon some contacts over in Ireland. I hope to visit and have a good time. A few days spent there, and then drive over to Dublin, spend a couple more days, check out the Guinness Brewery, and then head back home from there. But unfortunately, I'm going to be traveling on February 22nd from Dublin back to the U.S., and so I will not be able to make it. It was unfortunate, bad timing, bad planning on my behalf, and my bad. But if you can make it to the auction, please do. If you can make it to Blackpool, and I'm sure you will, please say hi. You'll see me walking around with a microphone, and I'll be doing some daily reports from the convention floor as I've done in the past. So please say hi so I can actually maybe get a chance to chat with you and get your reflections on the convention and how it's going then for you. Speaking of conventions, the Winter Carnival of Magic is going to be coming up then in early March also. And I highly recommend, if you have not signed up for it, they've still got plenty of room. They're way ahead of last year's attendance as far as registrations go. And that's because this is going to be the 50th. It seems to be a popular year. I guess whatever happened 50 years ago that started all this going. But 50 years ago is when they got it started. This will be the 50th anniversary then of the Winter Carnival of Magic. I know they have a tremendous lineup of people, and I am excited and very honored that I'm going to be the master of ceremonies for the final gala night show. So I am going to be the last MC for the last show in the last possible convention, the Winter Carnival. I'm so honored and thankful for that. I believe John Archer is going to be on that night with me, as well as David Da Vinci. So if you haven't registered, please do. Hope to see you there in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, coming up in March for the Winter Carnival. Well, this week I want to do something completely different that we haven't done before, and that is a short trick review. This is something that is by Greg Rostami, and it's called Supercan, and can meaning the card at any number. And he has developed this great idea where you can have a spectator. Basically, they have a calculator function. They put in whatever numbers they want, their own random numbers. They then count down the numbers that they have just calculated. It's no force whatsoever. They're just taking whatever numbers that they are putting in, and you have your deck of cards. They count down. You can shuffle. You can cut the cards. They can cut the cards as well. Then they're shuffle. You can from the shuffle deck, you can then count down whatever number they put in their calculator. And I like the fact they're using a calculator because that keeps people from changing their minds later. They can always look back and see they were counting down this particular number. Let's say 531, they're counting 5 cards, 3 cards, and then 1 card. You're making sure that they're doing it exactly, and everybody is involved with this. And then, of course, you have a card that's going to be face down, and once they have counted down whatever their number is, at that card, they turn that over, and it matches your prediction that you have made. Now, I say you turn the card. Oh, actually, you have an open prediction. It's a card which is, let's say, the 8 of hearts. And so you've got that out. And as they're counting down, they come to whatever their number was. And at that number, then that last card they turn over is the 8 of hearts. It's a very clever idea. And in watching the 2 hours of instruction on this, and there are so many different variations on how this can be done, the one that appealed to me the most was a thing called Google Stats, on which it is revolutionary to me. It was like, oh, that is such a great idea, using Google Stats. I was unfamiliar with this. Many of you others may be who are watching this, but I'm not going to go into this because it's part of the trick. But by using Google Stats, it has applications for other things that I could apply that method or technique towards something else. But in conjunction with this particular trick, by using Google Stats, they can randomly go to Google, check out some statistics of how many times people have been Googled, like Taylor Swift or whatever, and they put that number in the calculator, and then whatever number that happens to be, they count down those numbers of cards, not millions, but they count down to say a few cards, and it matches again. Very clever idea. And again, it's called Supercan, and it's something I recommend. It is great for walk around. It's the only thing the negative side of it is, it's a deck that you're carrying with you. So it's not a borrowed deck. You have a borrowed deck, but you have to set it up. And so there's a little bit of setup. And so as far as walk around, it's just something extra to carry, but it has a very strong impact. When I watched the video of the performance of that, the impact has not been one of those, oh my gosh, this is the most amazing thing I've seen. It's been more like, that's pretty interesting. That's pretty cool. I think it has great potential for real impact. It has, it's a good trick, just as any ACAN type of trick would be, where you count down to a random number and there's their card. That is a strong trick. But it's like with most things, all is in the presentation. Again, Supercan by Greg Rasami, and I recommend it. I think you should check it out. Well, next Magic Word podcast is going to be with John Graham, and I happened to catch up with him at the Tricks Convention in where were we? Charlotte, North Carolina, this last November. And I know you're going to enjoy hearing from somebody who is a real working pro, and he's got some really great ideas. And so you're going to hear just a short snippet here right now from our conversation that you'll hear in the full this coming Thursday from John Graham.
John Armstrong has a lecture kind of along the line, I guess, of what the direction you have, and that is talking specifically about working close up like that and making the transition to Parlor or Sage. And it's sometimes you might think, well, it's easy just to jump on Sage, and now you're doing things up instead of on the table. It's more than that.
Yeah, it's it doesn't have to be a hard process, but it has to be a thoughtful process, I think. Mm-hmm. Some tricks that you do close-up will work on stage, and some won't.
True.
If it's a trick like the Anniversary Waltz, where you really want people to feel that card, that's not necessarily great for stage. But I've done a ring to wallet inside of an envelope on stage for hundreds of people without video support. Yeah, and not that they could all see the ring inside, but they know.
But it's the reaction, I guess.
Exactly, and it carries over to the whole audience.
Right.
Well, again, thank you very much for coming back from week to week and to listen and to watch the Magic Whisper. I thank you also then for your contributions and your emails, again, for your well wishes. I am feeling better, hoping to get back on the road and back up to full speed sometime soon. We'll see how this goes when I get to Blackpool. I'm really kind of throwing all my efforts into that, trying to focus to get ready to go to that. And I know that's going to be great. So I hope to see you guys there. Again, if you will just like, share, and subscribe, you know what to do. Please do all that so this way that we can let other people know what's happening. Because I like to keep my finger on the pulse to let you hear each week the Magic Whisper.
Share the whisper with other magicians and join us next time on The Magic Whisper. The Magic Whisper is a division of the MagicWordPodcast.com.